Good morning, Jacksonville, Florida, where it's 45 degrees Fahrenheit. And I think it was even colder at 4 o'clock this morning when I was out there walking Flash. And my neighbor just texted me. She was on her way to work, and she said the low tire pressure came on, the little light, you know, those idiot lights that come on your car. And even the tires are freezing. So anyway, but here I am in my upper room where it's nice and warm and cozy, and it's a little sweater weather, and I kind of like it. So my topic today is be a blessing. And so I had somebody, one of the attorneys at work the other day, asked me why I work, because they know I've got retirement, Social Security, and whatever, you know. And I just said, well, because I want a good house to live in, a new car. But I got to thinking about other stuff, and what I really didn't tell them, and did not tell them, but it just made me think more. And that is, it reminded me of a time a few years ago, when this girl that lived in my neighborhood, she was very poor, you know, well, she couldn't work and didn't work, and she was always coming around for prayer. And I would pray with her and everything, you know, but I never gave her anything. At the time, I was retired, and I didn't have a lot of money. I wasn't working. I was just living on a little Social Security and some retirement money and whatever. And so anyway, one day she came around and she asked for money after years of coming around asking for prayer, you know. And I said, yeah, I'd really like to help you, but I just don't have any, you know, to spare. And I said, because I don't work. And she said, well, maybe you should go to work. You'd have the money. And I was so angry with her. I wanted to hurt her, you know, not physically, you know. I was like, seriously, woman, you know. But I got to thinking over the years, you know, and I realized now that I have been called to this job that I'm in, and I am able to have a better house and a better car and all that, you know. But guess what else I have? I have money free to give and to bless other people. And I have money to tithe more, and, you know, but when people are, when I hear that they need things and whatever, you know, I can give, you know. And it's such a good feeling to know that. And I always remember that girl, you know, and how angry I was. But now what a blessing that I feel like, you know, yeah, I work 40-hour work week, you know, but I'm able to bless a lot of people. And so, anyway, I also was thinking about how I used to belong to First Baptist Church years and years ago. But there was a girl that used to come, and several of them actually, new people would come in from time to time. I was in a big singles ministry. And people would come that would be very lonely, you know. And they would just come and sit in the room, and they would just sit. They wouldn't talk to anybody. They would just sit. And then they would go away very angry if nobody spoke to them, you know. And maybe not even come back. And so one day this girl showed up, and she was real bubbly and lively, and she didn't let anybody sit there by themselves. She was over there talking and carrying on, you know, and seeing what their needs were and praying and for them and all this stuff, you know. And I thought, that's how I want to be, you know. I don't want to go somewhere and just sit and say, what can somebody do for me? You know, what does God have for me today? I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be poor. I don't want to just, you know, live on just minor money, you know. And I don't want to just go to church and say, what can somebody do for me? I want to be a blessing to people, you know. And so I go here to Sarah Young again. Here we are. And it says, let your primary focus be communing with me, worshiping me, glorifying me. Then you'll be able to smile at others with my joy and love them with my love. And what they're talking about here is sometimes and this is the 19th of October for Sarah Young, and she's talking about, or the Lord's talking about, how the body in the church can be very unimposing, you know. I don't know if that's the right word or not, you know, but if you go and you expect everybody to be wonderful and just treat you wonderful, and, you know, you're gonna be disappointed, you know, because not because they're bad people, you know, but they have their own struggles, they have their own problems, and some of them just don't know how to reach out to people. And so and then if everybody does that, if there's nobody that comes forth and shares and spreads the joy of Jesus, the love, then everybody goes home miserable. And what's the point of going to church, So don't you want to be a blessing? I want to be a blessing. So I'm going here to my old Bible here, and it's in 1 John, which this is where Sarah Young, 1 John, you know what that is? That's like way back in the Bible. You got to really hunt it, But, John, the disciple who he says Jesus loved, but he's really the most loving disciple. He knew that Jesus loved him because he loved Jesus. Isn't that funny? So anyway, it's 1 John 5:4. For whatever is born of God overcomes the world, and this is a victory that has overcome the world, and it's our faith. Our faith, which I talked about just yesterday, our faith is in the future. Our faith is in the hope of the future, and also to know that God is going to be there for you in every step of the way. And so don't, sometimes we get consumed with our own troubles, and sometimes we want to tell everybody our troubles, and that's okay sometimes, but God knows it. He knows everything, and he knows you better than you know yourself, And so just tell yourself, okay, Lord, how can I be a blessing today? Whether it's in your money, or your time, or your gifts. Some people, they can cook and they can bake, or they can sew, or they're artistic and whatever, they have gifts that they can spread around. Isn't it great? It's kind of like Christmas every day. The best thing about Christmas is buying something for somebody or making something for somebody, is giving. That's the best part of Christmas, isn't it? Christmas can be every day, Think about what you're going to give to the kingdom and to the world and to suffering people and to hurting people today. And I love you guys, and Jesus loves you so much more. I'll see you later. Bye.